Good morning. Today we're going to talk about how to do a mail merge for theater. This is for Digital Tools 2 at SUNY Fredonia, and this is Todd Profit. Where do I use a mail merge? I use mail merge in a couple different ways. The first that I think it's most important is how to do labels. If you want to do labels for, say, scenic units, you want to do labels for props or maybe a prop table. Costumes could use it too, not necessarily for labeling costumes. But for labeling a costume rack or something like that, it's a great way to get information you have, say, in an Excel sheet out to a bunch of different labels. I've also used it for mail merge before, writing form letters, writing thank you letters. I've used it for that a few times, but it's a great way to just to get, take your data that you have in an Excel sheet and put it in another format. Today I'm going to show you how to do labels. We start by going to Microsoft Word. In Microsoft Word, you should have a mailings tab. You click on the mailings tab. This should have everything that you need. If you don't have the mailings tab, just Google it real quick because it might be something you have to turn on. I think it might have been something I turned on a long time ago, but I don't know if you're going to need to or not. All right, so how do you start? Well, if we were to look at the menu bar here, I would say let's start at mail merge. So you click here, and in our case, we want to do labels. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click labels, and it's going to ask me for what kind of labels I have. If you go and you buy them from the store, it's going to tell you like what number there are, or what number they are and what type they are. I'm just randomly picking some. The U.S. letter size, the Avery's one of the big companies that do it, but any of the stores you go to, the office stores or Walmart will have different types of labels, and you just look and see what number it is, and then you click that, and okay, these I chose some that are 2 inches by 3 inches. Okay, so as I click the label, the next thing we need to do is we need to select recipients, which really means we need to select what data we're going to put into, and I'm going to use this from an existing list. Before we do that, though, you need to go to Excel and create a list. Now, I went ahead and created one for a scenic unit. I've got one already set up for a scenic unit. The thing that as I was getting ready, this is my second take of this video, because what I quickly found out was it definitely needs the data you need is in sheet 1. I know there's a way to change it to a different sheet, but typically whatever the data you want to be needs to be on sheet 1. You're going to need to enter your data. So I've already entered some data here. I've entered my scenic unit, okay, and you need to have the labels at the top so that you know what each of these things are. And it's going to become important, which you'll see in a second. So let's add another one. Let's add D3 unit, and this is going to be outside, which would be a nice place to be. And let's say this is used in 1-1. Okay, Act 1-1. And so we've got 4 different scenic units that we want to make labels for. And I'm going to go ahead and save that. I saved it as scenic units. I'm going to go back to Word, and I'm going to select recipients. And I'm going to use the existing list. I'm going to go and I'm going to find that scenic unit XLS, which is right here. And I'm going to hit open. And I'm just going to click yes to this. Oh, okay. This is where I can choose the sheet for some reason. Whatever I hit before didn't have that. So if I had it on a different sheet, I could look on a different sheet, and I could choose what cell range I want to use. But I'm going to go ahead and hit OK there. So what it's done is it's already put in what, it's put in that it knows it needs this, and this little indication here just says this. You can't see me pointing my finger. This indication right here is for next record. I'm going to pause just for a second because I'm going to sneeze. Sorry about that. So this puts in the next record. So now what do we need to do? Now we need to start to put in some of our data. And you do that from the insert mail here. Now, before we do that, we need to write what the label is going to be. So if the label is going to be, let me just grab the Excel sheet here just so I can look at this as we go along. So first thing is scenic. Now I'm putting this in because I want this printed out on every single one. So that's the scenic number. Let's say I want to, maybe not tab over, that went to the next record, sorry. Scenic unit, and then we want set piece. And then we want act used. Now, again, this is just going to be what's printed out on so that everybody knows what the data means. Okay. So that puts those there. Then we're going to insert the field. So first thing we're just going to insert scenic number. Okay. Now I need to make sure I put a space in there just so that there's a space in between those two things. This one I want to be the set piece, and this one I want to be the act use. Now there are a whole bunch of other rules you could put in here if you wanted to. There's the next record that again, that doesn't automate. It puts in there for you. All right. And this next record goes at the top of each one. Now, so if we do that, we go in here real quick, we're going to preview results. That's what's going to show up. But you'll notice we don't have, we only have this on one label, but we want multiple labels to show up when we print. So I'm going to go ahead and hit update labels. What that did was it took what I've already drawn here and made it, I just repeated it on all of the other labels. Now let's go back and we're going to preview once again. And then you'll notice all those labels are going to show up correctly. It's only going to print the 4 because that's all the 4 that we have ready to go. If you want to, you can also, if you have more than 4, obviously, you can just sit here and you can hit preview and then you can just jump through each label as they go along, just to check and make sure everything's going to come out correctly and everything's going to print correctly. Now again, we just don't go to print because it's not going to, it would only print sort of what you see here. That's when you want to go to finish and merge. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And you can either print the documents, and in this case, we can't even do an email. I haven't messed with that in individual documents too much, so I just hit print. Okay. And in this case, I'm just going to say this is a PDF. And now, obviously you can just put your paper in and print. I was just showing you what it does. Once you finish this, just make sure you save it, because when you come back to it, you can go back and you can update stuff as need be. The thing that you have to remember, though, is you're going to update data on the Excel sheet. You have to update the data, save it, come back, and then re-choose that file one more time. All right, that's what I have for a mail merge. Thank you so much.